In today's video, I am going to cover how to read and write Excel data in Selenium WebDriver. In order to achieve our aim, we need to follow these following steps. Our first step is to download Apache UI jar files for using Excel functionality with Selenium WebDriver. Therefore, our first step is to download the PY jar files. Now, why do we require PY jar files? As we have already seen in Selenium WebDriver tutorial that in order to perform automation testing using Selenium, first we require to download the Selenium jar files so that it can interact with the client driver and browser driver and perform the corresponding action. Similarly, when we are working with Excel, we require Excel specific jar files. Therefore, Apache PY jar files help us with the libraries that can interact with the Excel and we can achieve the Excel functionality in Java and Selenium WebDriver. So let's download the Apache PY jar files. We will type Apache PY jar file download in our Google search. So Apache PY jar download, click. So you can see we got our first link in the search. We are going to click on this link. So now we have navigated to Apache Software Foundation page. Under this, we have a link which says the latest stable release of Apache version is 3.17. So we will download this latest stable version. Sometimes we have a link for beta version as well, but we need to select the stable version link. So click on this link and we have binary distribution, source distribution. We will go for binary distribution. And in this we are going to select the file type of zip. Click on this. Under this we will click on the first link that has been suggested based on the location is US or Europe. Since mine is US, so I'm going to click on this link and it's downloading. Therefore the download is finished. Let's see the folder. Yes, it has been downloaded. I'm going to move this file to my Selenium folder location where I store all my files or jar files related to Selenium so that it is easy to locate this file while programming. My file is here. Now I am going to extract the file. The file is extracted and I have all the jar files related to Excel functionality. The second step is to create project in Eclipse, add package and classes for reading and writing from Excel file. So let's get started. In order to create project in Eclipse, we are going to click on File, New, Java Project. So you can select Project, Java Project. Then you have to name the Java project. I'm going to name it as Excel in Selenium. Use the default location, use the GRE, separate folders. Okay, next, then we have to see the finish. Now we need to add new package to this file. So right click, new package. Now I'm going to name the package as Excel. Just start with small letters. So Excel operations. Okay, I don't require the package info, so finish. It is optional, you can have them as well. So the package is created. Now I will right click the package and create new class. I'm going to perform two operations using Excel. First is reading from the Excel, second writing into the Excel. So I'm going to create two classes, one for reading operation and second for the writing operation. So I'm going to name my first class as read Excel data. D will be caps. It should be public. It should have public static void main, nothing inherited, and finish. Okay, so the class is created. I will create one more class for write operation. So I will name it as write Excel data, public static void main, and finish. Therefore, I have created my project Excel in Selenium, my package Excel operations, and two classes for my two operations using Selenium. So I have completed step 2 by creating project and adding packages and classes in Eclipse. Let's move to step 3. In step 3, we need to add Selenium and POI jar files to our project. So let's add these jar files to our project. In order to add jar file, I'm going to right click on the project and select the option Properties. Under this, we have several tabs. We need to select the Java will path and click on the external jar tab. By clicking on this, we can add the external jar files. I'm going to navigate to my Selenium folder where I have all the Selenium and POI jar files. So under this Selenium folder, I have the Selenium and POI jar files. So first I'm going to add the Selenium jar files. So click on Selenium. I'm going to select these two jar files. Then I'm going to again add the jar files that are under the lib folder. So this completes our Selenium jar file. I will click on the external jar file to add the POI files. Click this folder. So under this I have this jar file. So first add this. Then under lib folder I have 5 jar files. Select all and add them. Then under this lib folder I have 2. So select both and add the jar files. So we need to add all the jar files under the Selenium folder and the POI folder that we have downloaded. Click on apply and then apply and close. So all the jar files that we added are being displayed here under the reference library folder. So this completes our step number 3. Now the fourth step is to create the Excel workbook. This is the workbook that we are going to use for reading the data as well as for writing the data into the Excel. So I'm going to create my Excel workbook in this folder. It is under Selenium program folder. So new Microsoft Excel. Now I'm going to name it as Excel Read and Write. I'm going to open this workbook. Maximize it. Now I'm going to enter data in the Excel so that we can perform read operation. So I'm going to enter V I B G Y O R, the rainbow pattern. And in my second column, I'm going to enter the full of the abbreviation of the first column. So here will be violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So this is our workbook that we are going to use. Now we will move to our fifth step, which is writing Java code for read and write operation in Excel. Before moving to Java code writing, we will see what are the classes and interfaces provided by the POI library. There are two types of Excel, one with the extension XLS, second with the extension XLSX. The first one, XLS, was the version of year 2003 and it stores the data in binary format, whereas the XLSX was the version of 2007 and it stores the data in XML format. So let's see what are the classes provided in order to use both of these Excel types. First, we will see the interfaces. There are 4 interfaces provided by the POI library. First one is Workbook, then Sheet, Row and Cell. Now we have corresponding classes to the interface. For XLS classes, we have HSSF Workbook for creating the workbook, HSSF Sheet for creating sheet in the workbook, HSSF Row for creating a row in a sheet. then HSSF cell for creating a cell in a row. Now we have similar classes for the XLSX file as well. Just that we have to replace the keyword HSSF with XSSF. In this video, I am going to use the second type of Excel file, which is the latest version, that is XLSX, and we are going to make use of the corresponding classes for writing the Java code. Let's write our first program, that is reading the workbook. In order to read the workbook, first we need to open the workbook. For that, I will need object of file type. So file equals to new file. Then I need to enter the path of my workbook. So path of my workbook is this. Copy, paste. Then I need to append the workbook name as well with extension. I need to import the package for file. So imported. Once we have written code for opening the file, we need to read the workbook. For that, I will need object of file input stream type. So file input stream, FIS equals to new file input stream, and then the file name that we want to read, that is file object, then semicolon. I need to input the file input stream package. Done. Now it is giving me error because I need to surround it by try and catch block to handle exception. So try, and then I need to write the catch block. So exception E. Always use general exception so that it can catch any type of file exception. Then system.out.println E. Okay, now the error is gone. Once you have created the object of file input stream type, we need object of workbook type because we are working with workbook Excel. So I need XSF workbook object because my Excel type is XLSX. So WBK equals to new workbook, and I want to read this workbook from which? From this file input stream. So FIS. Import the package. Okay, done. Now I need to read the sheet. Once you get the access to workbook, then you will move to sheet, then you will move to row, then you will move to cell. So the next step is to access the sheet. So XSSF sheet object equals to workbook dot get sheet. So we need the sheet of this particular workbook. So get sheet. You can use sheet name or index. I am going to use index. So sheet at index 0 because in this workbook my index is 0 because it's the first sheet that I want to access. So indexing starts from 0. Now once we have accessed the sheet, the logic for reading the complete workbook will be to access the complete count of the row in the workbook. Then for each row we will retrieve the count of column, and then we will access the value of each set. So first we will retrieve the row count. So int row count variable equals to, how you can get the row count? You can get the row count by using sheet dot get last row number. Now the indexing starts from 0. So the last row number will return value 6 rather than 7 because the index will start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it will return 6, but there are total 7 rows. So we need to add 1. Therefore the simple logic is to get the row count, use this method and add 1 to it. Once you get the row count, you need to use iteration so that you can retrieve first row and get its column count. So I'm going to use variable I, int I is equals to 0, I less than row count. I need to iterate through all the rows, semicolon I plus plus. After this, I need to get the first row or each of the row. So for that, I will write xssf row variable equals to sheet dot get row of which row number? The I row number, whatever the iteration number is. Once you get the row, you need to get the column count and you need to iterate through each of the column for that particular row. So we will need iteration and we will need column count. So let's complete both of the step in one statement. So for int equals to j, that will be used for iteration, j should be less than the column count. Now I can get the column count for that particular row by using row dot get last cell number. Okay, cell is nothing but the column, semicolon j plus plus. Now the difference between last row number and last cell number is that in order to get the row count, we always need to add 1 to this function value. Whereas for cell, we don't need to add 1 because it is already added in this function. Now we can access the cell value as row dot get cell at which cell number or cell index j. Now I need to print this value. So I'm going to use system dot out dot println. I'm going to use print because I want the complete row to be printed in one line. So I'm going to use print and then I'm going to pass this as input and I'm going to add separator between each cell value as vertical line. So this will act as a separator between each cell value and I'm going to print the complete row in one single line. I'm going to write here system dot out dot print ln so that it adds new line after printing each row, so that my each row comes in new line. Okay, so this completes our coding for retrieving the complete workbook. Now I need to close my input stream as well as my workbook. So fis.close. It is very important, otherwise it will not open or it will not open the workbook next time. So this completes our read program. Now we will close our Excel file and we will run our program and see what is the output. Run. Now we'll see on the console. So the complete workbook is displayed here in the order as it is in the Excel file. Now let's write code for writing the data into the Excel file. The code will be similar to the reading of the data from the Excel file. So I will require the same package. So copy and then paste in this program file. I will require the same coding of reading the file, stream and sheet and getting the row count. So I'm going to copy and paste it here. Now I need to complete my try catch block. System dot out dot println. Okay. The logic behind writing data in the Excel file is that we need two things: the value that we want to write and the location where we want to write. I'm going to write my data after the last row. That's why I have retrieved the row count. Now the value that I want to write, I will define it here. String array value, and the value is S for the first cell and 7 is value for the second cell. Once I have done this, I need to create the row that I want to add. So XSSF row object row equals to sheet dot create row. Last time we used get row because we wanted to retrieve row, we want to read row, but now we want to add, so we will say create row where at the last row count, so row count at semicolon. Once you have created the row, we need to iterate through all the cells or through two cells and write our value because we are entering two value for that particular row. So we need to iterate through two cells. So what I am going to do is I am going to write for int I equals to 0 semicolon I less than 2 because I want to iterate to 2 cell only, and then I plus plus, and then I will say XFF cell because I need cell object to store the value. Cell equals to row dot create cell, sorry, row dot create cell at index I. Once you have created the cell, you need to set the value of the cell. So in order to set the value, you will say cell dot set cell value of string type, and the value will be value dot I, the first value, that will be S. Then for second loop it will be 7, so second value will be stored. Once you have completed the logic for writing this, you need file output stream object to write the data in the Excel file. So file output stream equals to FOS equals to new. The same way we require file input stream for reading the file, we require output stream for writing into the file. Then which file you want to write? The same file that we access. So I have passed the file object here. Then I want to write it. So workbook dot write to the FOS object. Now once I have finished the writing in the workbook, I need to close my file input stream, file output stream, and my workbook. So this completes our code for writing data into the Excel file. Let's run the program. Make sure your file is already closed. So it is terminated. Let's open the Excel file. And as you can see, the row is added. So we have successfully completed our program. I hope this video was useful for you in order to understanding how to read and write data in the Excel using Selenium WebDriver.